How does a 21-year-old woman vanish from a hotel with 700 rooms in downtown Los Angeles without a single witness? In January 2013, Elisa Lam checked into the Cecil Hotel, a building that had sheltered serial killers and seen dozens of deaths within its walls. She was due to check out February 1st. She never did. And the last footage captured of her alive has haunted the internet ever since because no one can fully explain what it shows. Before her name became synonymous with online forums and late-night theories, Elisa Lam was a student at the University of British Columbia. Born in Hong Kong and raised in Vancouver, the Chinese-Canadian traveller possessed a keen interest in literature, writing and personal style. Her public blog, Nouvelle Nouveau, functioned as a digital diary. Through it, she shared everyday thoughts, curated art, and expressed a relatable mix of youthful anxiety and hope for what lay ahead. This online space reflected an ordinary young woman finding her voice and sharing her perspective with the world. To those who knew her, she was a creative, thoughtful person eager to expand her horizons. Her decision to begin her first solo West Coast tour of the United States was a significant step toward independence. Traveling alone by train and bus, she planned to visit new cities, photograph her travels, and experience the world firsthand. This ordinary identity remained at the center of her life. Before she was a subject of global speculation, she was a beloved daughter, a supportive sister, and an avid reader starting a personal adventure of self-discovery across the coast. In December 1924, the Cecil Hotel opened its doors in downtown Los Angeles. Designed by architect Loy Lester Smith as a grand, 14-story property with 700 rooms, it initially targeted wealthy tourists and business travelers. But as the Great Depression took hold, the surrounding area declined, and the Cecil found itself on the border of Skid Row, a neighborhood increasingly marked by extreme poverty and displacement. The hotel adapted, transitioning into a low-cost residence for transients and long-term lodgers. Over the decades, this proximity to the city's most vulnerable population brought a steady stream of violence and sudden death. By the late 20th century, the Cecil had earned a grim notoriety. In 1985, serial killer Richard Ramirez rented a room on the top floor during his summer terror campaign. 6 years later, Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger checked in, using the hotel as a base while active in the city. Unnatural deaths, assaults, and suicides became so common that long-term residents began calling the building the Suicide. In 2011, new owners attempted to distance the property from this dark legacy. They rebranded a portion of the building as Stay on Main, a trendy, budget-friendly hostel marketed to young international travelers. It was this rebrand that drew Elisa Lam to the hotel. While the building's history creates a heavy, unsettling atmosphere, investigators must separate this dark history from actual proof. A notorious reputation is a backdrop, not evidence of a crime. Elisa Lam arrived in Los Angeles on January 26, 2013, traveling by train and bus after a brief stop in San Diego. 2 days later, on January 28th, she checked into the Stay on Main hostel. While investigators later relied on hotel registration logs to confirm this check-in date, other details of her stay came primarily from staff reports rather than direct physical evidence. Employees noted that Lam was initially assigned to a shared room, but was moved to a private room after her roommates complained about her behavior. She was expected to check out around February 1st to continue her planned trip north to Santa Cruz. Throughout her travels, Lam had maintained daily contact with her parents in Vancouver. When that routine contact suddenly stopped on January 31st, her family immediately grew concerned. Realizing her travel plans had failed, they alerted the Los Angeles Police Department. Officers opened a missing person investigation, searching for any sign of the young traveler. At this early stage, police found no physical evidence of foul play, and no confirmed suspect was identified in the public record. On February 14, 2013, the Los Angeles Police Department published a security recording as a public request for information. The footage captured overnight between January 31st and February 1st remains the final known record of Elisa Lam. The documented facts of the sequence are straightforward. Inside the elevator, Lam presses a column of buttons. The doors do not immediately close. She steps toward the door, bends forward to peer into the hallway, and quickly steps back inside, retreating to the corner. Moments later, she steps back out into the corridor, moving sideways, then waves her hands in slow geometric shapes. She returns to the elevator once more, presses more buttons, and eventually walks out of the frame. Throughout the entire 2.5 minutes, the elevator doors stay open and no one else appears on camera. The stark difference between her documented movements and speculative interpretations of whom she might have been responding to became the core of the mystery. To maintain accuracy, these documented facts must be separated from unverified theories. Documented. The video lacks usable audio, and because there are no other camera angles of the hallway, there is a complete blind spot outside the elevator. The timestamp on the footage was blurred before its release, which investigators stated was done to protect the active case. Reported, analysts noted that the doors remained open for an unusually long period, though whether this was a mechanical delay or human intervention remains a subject of debate. Unverified theory. While online commentators argued the blurred timestamp and slowed footage speed pointed to a police cover-up, the public record contains no proof of deliberate tampering or police error. This release shifted the case. Once published online, this single sequence went viral, drawing millions of viewers. Internet forums filled with frame-by-frame analyses, turning a local search into an international fixation. For days, guests at the Cecil Hotel had complained of low water pressure and discolored water with an unpleasant taste. On February 19, 2013, maintenance worker Santiago Lopez climbed to the roof to investigate. Inside one of the 4 1,000-gallon water tanks, he found Elisa Lam's body. The missing person search instantly became a death investigation. How she ended up inside the cistern raised immediate, difficult questions. The rooftop was a restricted area. Reaching the tanks required opening an alarmed, locked door, navigating a high platform, and scaling a secondary ladder. Public reports from 2013 conflict on whether the heavy lid was locked, open, or closed. This physical barrier remains a major evidentiary gap, though it does not prove the presence of an accomplice. In June 2013, the Los Angeles County coroner released the official autopsy report, ruling Elisa Lam's death an accidental drowning. The examination found no external or internal signs of physical trauma, sexual assault, or defensive wounds. Toxicology screens came back negative for alcohol and illegal drugs. While tests showed prescription psychiatric medications in her system, the levels were far below therapeutic doses, indicating she may have recently stopped or reduced her prescribed regimen. The coroner listed bipolar disorder as a significant condition contributing to her death, though the medical record did not reconstruct her actual movements. This official determination left no legal basis for a homicide investigation. With no evidence of a struggle and no identified suspect, the case transitioned to the civil courts. In September 2013, Lam's parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the hotel, alleging negligence over unsecured roof access. 2 years later, in December 2015, a Los Angeles Superior Court judge dismissed the suit. The court ruled the tragedy unforeseeable, noting the water tanks were located in a restricted service area strictly off-limits to hotel guests. The legal closure marked the end of the official inquiry, leaving the physical sequence of events unresolved. Behind the viral speculation lies a fragile human reality. Elisa's story warns us of an era where real tragedy is consumed as digital entertainment, leaving us to confront the vulnerabilities we so easily ignore. Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more.